Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft on the TimeShot server. I am Atyrum, and today is the Q&A episode in which I answer a bunch of your questions. And don't worry too much if you didn't get a chance to get a question in. I kind of cut the deadline short a little bit. There's Tort. Hi, Tort. I kind of cut the deadline short a little bit because plans changed and I had to record the video tonight rather than tomorrow night, which doesn't mean anything to you because this video is going up tomorrow night for me. But basically, so if you had a question you were going to get in and you did get a chance to, don't worry, I'll do another one of these at some point, I am sure. But yeah, for now we'll just go with what questions we have. But before we get to that, I did want to show off progress I've made, because in the last episode all I had was kind of the start of the path, and I kind of just had it dug out in dirt. But I've kind of gotten started on the actual path. Not sure exactly how this is going to line up here, because this is like a dirt path, and that turns into stone brick. And I don't really like the way that connects. It doesn't really flow very well, so not sure exactly what I'm going to do there, but we'll have to figure something out. If it comes down to it, I guess I could convert this entire path, but I kind of like this path being dirt, so we'll see. We'll figure something out. But yeah, I've kind of been working on the what's the word for this? Patio? Not really a patio. Patio doesn't sound, you know, like Star Wars-y enough. The outside area. Yeah, the outside area over here. Yeah, lost my train of thought. But basically, I've been working on this. I think I kind of like it. It's definitely really bright. I think it really stands out against the savanna grass. And I'm almost wondering if maybe I should have just gone for like a plains biome instead. Although if I'd done that, there might have been a little less space. I maybe could have fit it right here. Although there's kind of savanna right in the middle right there. Or maybe possibly I could have done over here, but I guess that doesn't matter. Obviously, I already started on it. I mean, it might have fit over here possibly, but I thought savanna would look nice because it's a savanna, or it looks kind of savanna. It looks like this colored grass in the actual game that this is based off of, but it's all right. Okay, so yeah, but I'm working on the entrances, and probably next episode we'll actually do a little bit of building on camera possibly. So yeah, that's enough of that. We do need to get to the Q&A, but first there is one other thing I want to show real quick. But Mara stopped by and dropped off quite the gift over here. Basically a replacement for what Poet stole in the tour episode there. And also a nice little note there. You can pause the video if you want to read that. I've already read it off camera. And there was also a ender chest in there, which I went ahead and set up over here. It seems to be unopenable. There we go. A couple of nice picks and some okay boots in there. And yeah, so lots of cookies. I don't know what I'm going to do with all those cookies. There's a nice bow. We can get rid of this bow. I don't even know where I got this bow. I don't know if this is somebody's bow because it has a name on it. I don't know who owned a bow called Dwiddle, but I found it somewhere and I started using it. But yeah, so let's get into that Q&A. So first of all, I have to find a cave, which probably means I need to wander off somewhere away from spawn. I just have to figure out which direction I want to go. There is a world border, so I can't go like forever in any direction. And I'm assuming there are quite a few caves already explored. So I'll just go ahead and wander out in some direction and hopefully find a decent cave to go down. So I'll cut until we find a cave, and then we'll start the Q&A proper. Alright, so I think we found a decent enough cave here. I basically went straight north. And I passed a couple signs of civilization, although I'm not sure exactly whose stuff it was that I saw, but yeah, that's mostly just because I haven't been watching TimeShot long enough to really know. I think it might have been the base of a member that is no longer is active on the server, and also I just realized I don't have a shield on me. Oh wait, I do have a shield on me. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get right started with the Q&A, because you guys have already waited like 5 minutes for me to get this thing started. So let's get my pick up here, and I probably want blocks on my bar. Let's get that out of there, and let's get some cobblestone to fill that spot. Okay, so now we can get started, now that I'm all set up. So our first question comes from Munching Yoshi, who asks, what is your favorite Pokemon that has been added so far? I don't know if that means like after the first generation, considering he's asking that's been added so far. I mean, my favorite Pokemon of all time is Feraligatr, so that does fit into that category there. I don't really have a good reason. Actually, I probably do have a good reason why Feraligatr is my favorite. Because I'm pretty sure it was the first Pokemon I ever got. Because my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Silver. And, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. But I think I started with Totodile. In which case, that would have been my first Pokemon ever. And I don't know, I'm just a fan of Feraligatr. I think it's a pretty cool Pokemon. And it's not, you know, like crazy overrated like Charizard or something like that. Some of my other favorites are probably some weirder ones that maybe even fewer people are big fans of. I really like Chandelure. I know a lot of people don't like the inanimate object kind of Pokemon, but I don't know, there's something about Chandelure that I just really love. I think I mainly have started to become a fan of it because it's got an insanely high special attack stat, and I like putting Choice Scarf on it and making it kind of like a revenge killer. I feel like that's kind of my strategy in general for Pokemon, is like find something with really high attack stats and put a Choice Scarf on it and call it good. And does this cave go on over this way? I hope it does. Otherwise, this was a very short Q&A. Yeah, it does not go anywhere. Some of my other favorites, I like Galvantula, Tyrantrum. Those are all a couple of newer ones. Also, I mean, from the very beginning, I've always been a big fan of the water type starters. So like Blastoise, Swampert. I think I kind of stopped choosing the water type starters at Gen 4. I think that's when I chose Torterra, because I did like that one more than I liked Empoleon. I'm just going to dig down and see if I can find a cave that way. So this might turn into Q and strip mining rather than Q&Aving, if that even makes sense. And yeah, I think that's probably most of my top few favorite Pokemon. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. I kind of have it on my laptop over next to me, which probably isn't the best setup, but I couldn't think of a better way to do that. So Spectre5549 asked, what's the strangest thing you believed as a kid? Maybe not the strangest, but one thing I thought when I was a kid, I used to think that if you honked the horn on your car, that it would immediately call the cops. And the reason I thought that was because when I was a kid, at one point I had jumped in the car, I was pretty young, and I decided to honk the horn because I thought it'd be funny. And my mom comes out and she's kind of upset, and she's like, hey, you shouldn't do that because, you know, you should really only use your horn in case of an emergency. So my little kid mind said, oh, emergency, that means, you know, police, which means if you press the horn, it immediately calls the police, right? So yeah, that's something that I kind of believed for a little while. But eventually, I kind of realized that's not exactly true. I mean, I don't know if I exactly believed it like dialed the police, or if I just thought it was like a really loud noise that like attracted the attention of the police. Like if they just had like a designated person listening for the sound of a horn, so they could send out the police if, you know, that horn sounded. You know, like I don't know. But yeah, I think that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head, although I'm sure there were plenty of other things I thought as a kid that are definitely not true. So yeah, what level are we at right here? We might have to dig in a different direction. We probably have to dig in a different direction. We might even find a cave down here, which would be kind of sad, and then I'd have to start the whole episode over again. Although, no, I probably won't do that. I'd probably just go cut for a second and go find another cave. So let's see here. Next question is from MinecraftMan03, who asked, who's your favorite YouTuber? I don't know. I don't know if I'd really say I have a favorite. Let's pick another direction to dig down. I don't know if I'd really say I have a real favorite. It's kind of hard. I mean, anytime you ask me what my favorite anything is, I have a hard time telling you my favorite, like, anything. Like, seriously, because I just have a hard time saying, like, I like this one for sure better than this one and this one. You know, I mean, there's just so many variables to think about. Like, I mean, sometimes I like something more than something else in certain cases, and, like, I don't know. In terms of YouTubers, I mean, more recently, I mean, I've definitely been getting into the TimeShot people since I got introduced to the rest of them other than Tort a couple of months ago. So that's kind of been what I've been watching on YouTube lately. Other than that, some of the people I used to watch and still occasionally watch. I mean, it kind of depends on what game they're playing, because I'm not going to watch somebody... Whoa, that's loud. Okay. I'm not going to watch somebody play a game I have no interest in. So a lot of the people I'm subscribed to, I haven't watched in like years, but I still like enjoy like occasionally going back and watching one of their old series or something like that. So one of the ones I really like is Nintendo Capri Sun. and his videos actually inspired me in a certain way, and made me kind of want to do my own Let's Play of Earthbound. In fact, his videos are why I even found the game Earthbound in the first place. And then, yeah, so, ooh, that's what we want to find. That is exactly what we want to find. Too bad we had to be digging straight down to find it rather than, you know, find it the real way. Whoa, that's a little scary. I feel like there must be, like, custom sounds with this, this texture pack. Yeah, there must be some kind of custom sounds with this texture pack, because I've noticed that certain things are making different sounds than they usually do, which is interesting, but if I can find a way to revert it back, I might go ahead and do that. But the thunder sounds definitely sound different. So anyways, favorite YouTubers, some of the other ones I like. I used to watch a guy called Slowflake a lot, and he did basically like complete 100% playthroughs of Pokemon, and yeah, he's kind of stopped doing YouTube, but he was going through just about every generation. He started with Gen 1, and went through Gen 5, and then he kind of quit halfway through White 2, I think. But yeah, he was another one of my favorites I used to watch a lot. Very different in style to the way that, say, I play Pokemon, because he tended to use, you know, the best Pokemon possible. He'd use, you know, like legendaries and all of that, and he would go ahead and he wouldn't cut anything out. He would include every little part of the game. And meanwhile, you know, my style is like the complete opposite. You know, like I do Nuzlocke, so I just use whatever I end up getting, and I like to cut out, you know, just about everything just to make sure that the videos are, you know, get to the point and aren't too boring and all that. But it's still, he's a YouTuber I used to enjoy a lot, and it's kind of sad that he kind of stopped doing videos, but you know, not everybody's gonna keep doing it forever. I mean, I doubt I'm gonna do this forever. I mean, I doubt this whole concept of Let's Playing, I don't know, who can even say, but I doubt this whole concept of doing Let's Plays, doing gaming commentary, I doubt this is really gonna be around forever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I was saying the same thing about Minecraft, you know, a couple of years ago. Maybe not, you know, out loud, but kind of to myself, I was thinking, you know, like, Minecraft's not gonna be around in a couple of years, you know. I mean, but at the same time, like, obviously we're still here, and I'm still enjoying it, and whoa, those are some crazy thunder sounds. I hope they're not too loud. Let's make sure my sounds aren't too loud. It's kind of hard to tell, because they're kind of loud on my end. But yeah, I was always thinking, you know, that Minecraft wouldn't really stick around that long, but obviously it still has. I think maybe the interest in it has declined a bit. But I think it still holds people's interest, and obviously there are people interested in watching vanilla Minecraft content, because there's a whole TimeShot community. You know, Hermitcraft is a really big thing nowadays, although I don't follow them as much as I used to follow Minecraft. But yeah, I don't know, I just haven't gotten into them quite as much for various reasons. Maybe we'll talk about that in another question. I don't know if we have another question related to that or not. What level are we at now? 20. I guess we could go down a little bit lower, but I doubt we're gonna find anything down here. And yeah, other than that, yeah, I used to also follow like a lot of the Minecraft guys. So those were a couple of them were my favorite YouTubers for a little while there, but they've all kind of branched off now, and most of them don't really do Minecraft anymore. Not to say I'll only watch people for their Minecraft. Obviously, I watch quite a few YouTubers who don't do Minecraft, but it was kind of sad to see that the Minecraft server doesn't really do that much anymore. Out of the Minecraft guys, I was definitely a big fan of Zisto, probably my favorite Minecracker. So yeah, I believe that answers that question. Okay, we've stumbled into somebody's strip mine here. We might not have much luck finding caves. There's a cave right here, but obviously that's already been explored. Wait, we didn't come down this way. This is a little bit of a mess. We may have to relocate here in a minute, but before we do that, let's go ahead and get to our next question here. MinecraftMan03 also asked, will you do face cam or show your face on camera? Sure, why not? Here you go. Here's my face on camera. Alright, and with that, let's go ahead and cut until we find a better cave here, so we're not just digging straight down aimlessly for an entire episode. So yeah, I'll meet you guys back in a second, and I'm probably going to dump some of this stuff out of my inventory too. Didn't realize how full I was getting. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, so this looks a bit more promising. So I ended up swimming out quite a ways, and I found Mara's base, which I hadn't actually gotten to on the server before, although I've seen it in videos, and actually she was streaming earlier today, so I saw it there. But that's my first time actually going out there. I don't know if she has a portal set up or not. But anyway, so we went just a little ways north from there, found a little forest island. It started turning nighttime, so I decided to dig straight down, and it looks like there's a cave here. So we should be able to continue down this way. Let me go ahead and read off the first question, or the first question that we have coming up next. before we get too far down here, so I don't get stuck somewhere. So the next question comes from Hope Starter, who asks, who actually has 3 questions. First off, have you ever watched any YouTube videos or streams on Twitch or Mixer about Minecraft and such prior to you joining TimeShot, or even encountering Tortimer in general, like before you joined TimeShot or encountered TimeShot community stuff and videos from members, and before you met Tortimer too? Okay, so that's quite the long-winded question. So, I believe what it's asking, whoa, that little particle effect scared me for a second. I thought it was something else. Basically, what I think that question is asking is, like, what kind of involvement did I have with, you know, like, just watching Minecraft videos in general, or other Minecraft communities, or what I might know about other Minecraft communities who do YouTube and such, prior to joining TimeShot and prior to joining, or getting to know Tortimer. And I guess I'll kind of wrap this up with his 3rd question. You did mention something about playing the Minecraft game version where oak logs are the only wood. How long have you gotten into the game before YouTube and during your career or so? So I'll answer both those questions at the same time, because I suppose I can kind of lead one into the other. So I kind of found out about Minecraft because it was shared in a group I used to be part of, because I used to be part of a website called Game Toast, which was a place where we did mods for the game Star Wars Battlefront 2, and that was really the first, you know, online community I really got involved in. And someone there posted a thread talking about the game Minecraft, which was still relatively new at the time. This was back in, I think, 2010, probably the middle of it when they actually posted the thread, but I didn't actually get a chance to play it until a couple months after that. But yeah, it looked pretty interesting, so I was like, hey, I'm going to give this game a try. It looks pretty neat. Oh, hey, zombies, you scared me. And also, let's get out of there. Okay. Got stuck in my inventory for a second. But yeah, I was like, oh, this looks like a neat game. I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. So I played a little bit of single-player Minecraft for a little bit, kind of just to get a feel for the game. And I don't think really multiplayer worked that well at the time. Should I have my shield out, maybe? Maybe that'd be a good idea. I don't know. I have decent armor. I think we'll be okay. And I kind of like having my torch out like that, too. But basically, so I tried it out. I played single-player for a couple of months, which was fine and dandy and all. Oh, there are a lot of skeletons in here. Hey, guys. How's it going? But yeah, so I played a lot of single player for a couple of months, got really into it, did a lot of building and such, and yeah, I think around that time, maybe like, no, it would have been later than that, never mind, just disregard what I just said there, but it would have been a couple months later, I think in, so that was 2010 when I first started getting into Minecraft. The first server I joined was from the same community I mentioned before, the Battlefront 2 community. Started a server, the Game Toast official server or unofficial server or something. I think it was unofficial, but that doesn't really matter. But so yeah, it was just a small server that, you know, it was only for members of that community, and we just kind of played on it and had some fun. And you know, this was back in the olden days of Minecraft, you know, before we had enchantments and hunger and all that kind of stuff. And it was a fun time, you know. I mean, we did a lot of building, and at the time I was pretty crappy at building. I think I built a house that I kind of claimed the best property on the server, and I built a house that actually used birch logs, because they were that was when they just got added to the game. I think birch logs were the first variant of logs that were added, and I decided I had to use them even though they looked hideous. Although I was like, oh, look, new block, I'm using it, I'm so cool, and yeah, they look pretty ugly. But yeah, so played on that server for a little while, and eventually temporarily took it over because the guy who had been hosting it, I believe, decided to stop hosting it. And I had briefly hosted it while he was on vacation one time, and we are out of torches. But yeah, I eventually did actually kind of permanently take it over, but it only lasted a little while, and I think that was right about when 1.8 came out. And at that point in time, I think I took a brief break from Minecraft, and then in the middle of 2012, I kind of decided to start a YouTube channel where I did Minecraft stuff, because it was about that time that I found some servers like Minecraft, and I started watching them. I think I got into them watching Race for the Wool. If any of you guys remember that, when they did that, I think I was already subscribed to CoStar, although I don't think I really watched them that much. And through him, I found Good and BWO and a couple of the other guys, and I started watching Minecraft a little bit. I didn't get too much into it. I think when they posted the first PvP UHC season was the first time I really started paying more attention to them. Prior to that, I just kind of kind of had I was subscribed to them, but I didn't really watch very much from them. But then I started getting more seriously into watching them, and I really enjoyed it. And I mean, I started a YouTube channel kind of inspired by that idea. You know, like I wanted to do my own kind of commentary, you know, Minecraft videos. I wouldn't say that I had any, you know, ideas that I would get into Minecraft at some point, like get into the server, because I don't know, that just wouldn't be something that would be happening. And I mean, I was a small-time YouTuber, and I had like 36 subscribers. I remember that exact number because I was there for quite a while. But yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to do YouTube videos. And I know a buddy of mine who doesn't do YouTube anymore. His name was Leader Grev. He was involved in a server briefly. That was really my only other experience seeing a SMP kind of YouTube server, and that server is called MineLogic, I think. Although he only played on it very briefly. And at one point, I think I kind of wanted to get on it, but I didn't really look too much into it. And yeah, other than that, I think, yeah, so I played single-player Minecraft, doing a kind of Let's Play series for a little while. I also did kind of a series called Race to the End, which was a kind of a almost competitive series, although we never actually ended up finishing it. And it basically involved several people doing, trying to get to the end as fast as possible. Basically a speed run, although we didn't do it on the same world or anything like that. We all did our own separate things. We all did it separately in single player. And it was with a couple other people. But yeah, so after that, I did take another brief break from Minecraft and YouTube for a little while, and then I joined a server, another server called Jackal's Den, which is a 18 and up, I believe it's 21 and up now server, and that's a non-YouTube server, and I just kind of played on there for a couple months. And then I just happened to be browsing the Minecraft forums for some reason. I don't really recommend going to the Minecraft forums, especially nowadays. They don't seem like a very pleasant place to be, if that's the word to use. But I just happened to be browsing there for some crazy reason. This was July of 2013, and I saw a thread in the server forum or what have you. It was advertising a YouTube server called Farside. And I was like, you know, because I hadn't done any YouTube videos in a while, they had a requirement that you had to have at least 5 videos on your channel. I did have a good handful. I think I had about 50 or so before I had to kind of briefly quit YouTube for a bit. But yeah, and so that was the application process. Was basically, you know, if you have at least 5 videos, you know, they'll take a look at you. And I'm not sure exactly how that voting process went, but basically I applied to it, and it was just probably a week after it opened that I ended up getting in. So that was my first experience getting into a YouTuber server, and also we're backtracking, which is always fun. And yeah, played on there for a while. We had a first season that lasted, ooh, that's an Enderman who seems to be mad at me. Yeah, he's mad at me. Can we hide in here and not die? That would be nice if that's a thing that could happen. But yeah, I played on there for a little while. Our first season only lasted about 6 months because we had a world corruption, which is kind of a shame. Holy cow! What's with all the mobs? It's probably because I'm the only one on. If there were more people on, I'm sure, if Tort was still on, I'm sure these mobs would probably be a little less. Oh, don't blow up, please. Nobody's sneaking up on me. But yeah, I played on there for a little while. Tort joined that server later on. Okay, I guess you can kill all those guys. That's a fine thing you could do. So yeah, it was about just barely into our season 2, I think, was when Tort applied. He knew a guy on the server called Cluster, who I don't believe does YouTube anymore. Hey there, witch. I don't want to play your poison game today. I'm going to run out of arrows, aren't I? But yeah, Tort applied to join the server. I didn't really know him at the time, so that was my introduction to him, was voting for him to join the server, which is kind of funny because more recently he got to vote on me joining the TimeShot server. So it's interesting how that works. But yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I saw his channel, I was like, wow, because he had some, you know, I really liked the way his graphics looked, and it looked really professional. You know, at the time he was a baby YouTuber. You know, he had just started. I don't know. He was probably about a year in at that point. I'm not entirely sure. Oh ho ho, hey there. But yes, obviously I voted yes. I suppose I don't really need to keep that secret. And I think it was pretty unanimous. The voting process wasn't really anything too crazy. It was kind of just a, you know, people just voted yes or no. And if more people voted yes than no, I think that was all you had to do to get in. Yeah, very, very informal, but yeah, so Tort got into the server, and I don't know that we really, you know, hung out that much on the server. I think we had a couple times that we hopped in a call at the same time, although I think it was usually when there were, you know, several people on at the same time. There was one point where he and another member of the server, Conniva, teamed up and pranked me, and I never got around to getting them back for that prank. But yeah, I don't know that we really got to know each other that well when we were actually on the server. It ended up shutting down in January of 2014, I want to say. Or was it? No, it was January 2015, because 2014 is when Tort joined. Duh. The server started in 2013. So yeah, it shut down in January of 2015, and at that point, the server, some of the active members decided to merge into a different server called Minecraft with a Y, and at that point, Tort decided to not continue on there, and he later on ended up, obviously, on TimeShot here. But yeah, I feel like we got to know each other a lot better after Farside shut down. I mean, at least in my opinion. You know, keeping up with each other's videos and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't think we really got a chance to actually play any games together until he opened his Patreon server, the Pixelmon server. But other than that, yeah, I don't think we really played that much together on Farside. But yeah, so that's how I know Tort. That's how we got to know each other. And then, yeah, so I played on the Minecraft with the Y server for about 2 years until that one shut down. And again, the same kind of issue. It decided to merge into another server. Although in this case, that server that it was merging into was a very inactive server. So we were basically combining 2 inactive servers. And I said, you know, at that point, it was my time to, you know, depart because I didn't want to, you know, join this server that was, I mean, what I'm trying to say is I kind of wanted to not go to another server that was basically on the same kind of level, if that makes sense, as the one I was already playing on. I wanted to upgrade, if that makes sense. Like, I wanted to, you know, grow. I wanted to I mean, not necessarily in terms of subscribers. I mean, that's always nice too. But I wanted to get into something bigger, something a little more involved, because all the servers I'd been on before, I would say the community aspect was a little bit lacking, you know? Like, I feel like there wasn't that much push to get to know everybody on the server. Like, I feel like the last couple servers I was on, that I'm sure some of the members probably didn't even know I was on the server, even though I was on there for quite a long period of time. And I feel like I didn't get to know, like, most of them, especially on the last server I was on. So I really wanted to get into something a little bit more. Just more in general, like, because I can't come up with a good word to say there. Just kind of more, just a better server. I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to go bigger. You know, I don't want to be. I didn't want to downgrade or stay kind of on the same level, if that makes sense. I wanted to get going with some people who are a bit more serious about doing YouTube. Who, because the last couple servers I'm on, I'm pretty sure there are very few people from those servers still doing YouTube today, which is why the last server I was on shut down, is because there weren't enough people still playing or doing videos and such. Oh, and there's a spider spawner over there. I'm going to block that off. So yeah, I mean, even though the TimeShot server is a little bit on the inactive side, I didn't really mind that as much, because, you know, there are still people playing. There's still people who are very dedicated to playing vanilla Minecraft and playing on the server. So even though the server is in a slow stage, I still saw that as something I'd be interested in doing. And yeah, and my inventory is really filling up here, but we only got a couple questions left. I think I mostly answered that question. If you have any other, you know, if you were looking for something specific in terms of answers there, let me know and I can answer it in the comments below. Oh, there's a dungeon over here too. That's pretty neat. Let's let these guys shoot each other to death a little bit. There are a lot of guys in there. Okay, let's stay behind cover. But yeah, I think that's probably about my whole story about how I got from, you know, finding Minecraft to joining the TimeShot server. I almost said the Farside server. That was years ago. Okay, is there anything cool in here? Name tag. I could use a name tag. I don't want to throw away iron, actually. I really do need cobblestone, though, because I'm going to need that for my base. A record, I don't really care about that. Mara, if you want to come steal all the stuff in these chests, it's right by your base. It's just to the north. It's a little forest island. You might be able to find my little spot I dug down. But you can come claim this stuff if you want to. Yeah, since we're all filled up on inventory, I'm going to try and head back up, I think. Yeah, I think that might be the thing to do here. And yeah, I'll just finish off the last couple questions while we head back up and possibly start heading back to spawn. So yeah, next question from Hope Starter as well. Have you ever had experience before in modded Minecraft? What are the mods you enjoy thus far? If no, okay. Yeah, I have done a little bit of playing with mods in Minecraft. Not that much, which is probably kind of weird because I've played so much with mods in other games. Obviously, I was pretty big into building my own mods for Star Wars Battlefront 2. I've even gotten into, you know, making hacks for Pokemon, and obviously playing lots of hacks for Pokemon. I have played mods for just about every other Star Wars game I've owned. I've played mods for Halo. I mean, I haven't made mods for all these games. The only game I really made mods for was Battlefront 2, but I definitely got into a lot into modding in other games. But Minecraft, I never really got that much into modding, probably because it works so well as a sandbox where you get to do your own thing on its own. But I have played the Pixelmon mod, although that was fairly recently I got into that, which is kind of weird because I'm a big Pokemon person, but I never really got into Pixelmon. I think mostly because when I watched videos of the Pixelmon mod, the camera angles always bugged me. But eventually when I actually played it, I did kind of get over that. So let's go ahead and see if we can make a boat real quick. Are there any mobs up here? And then I'm just going to start heading back to spawn, just because I feel like we're filled up in inventory. I don't have a Silk Touch pick, so I couldn't bring my Ender Chest with me. So yeah, modded Minecraft. Other than Pixelmon, I did play Feed the Beast at one point. That was not on YouTube. That was just a thing I did on my own. And my brother also played a little bit with me. And he was kind of my go-to Feed the Beast expert because he seemed to know everything about the game or about the mods. So we played a bit of that together at one point. Although he doesn't play Minecraft that much anymore, so we don't play anything together anymore. But yeah, so other than that, let's see. Yeah, I think that was really my only foray into mods in Minecraft. Other than that, yeah, I don't think I really touched mods. So yeah, I believe that answers the question there. So let's see. Voca Vamps asks, what's your favorite animal? Favorite animal? I've always been a cat person. Probably because I grew up with cats. I mean, I'm pretty sure in my household with my parents, when I lived with my parents, there was never a point in time where we did not have a cat. I mean, my parents had cats when I was born, and we always had cats growing up, so I've always been more of a cat person. And I honestly, the only reason I'm not a dog person is just because I've never had dogs, you know? Like, I have nothing against dogs. I like dogs. I don't know if I'd ever have a dog. Obviously, it's not really an option right now. Can't really have any pets in the apartment I'm in right now, but we are moving in about a week and a half, honestly. But after that, I'm still not really. I don't really want to get any kind of crazy pets that would be too much upkeep for the time being. But anyways, yeah, always been a cat person. Other than that, I do enjoy some stranger animals. I've always had a fascination with fish. Did have an aquarium for a little while, although just this past weekend, the 4-day weekend we had, my wife and I were out of the house all weekend, came back and found out our fish tank had completely drained and all of our fish were dead, which was a nice thing to come home to. But yeah, so don't have it. Well, I technically still have a fish tank, but there's no fish in it right now. But got to figure out where the leak was and either patch it up or just think about getting a new tank. I don't know. But we are moving soon, so I guess it is almost a good thing, so we don't have to worry about moving the fish and keeping them alive. Although it's not really that far a move either, so I guess that's not that big a deal. And I'm just going to leave my boat here just for the heck of it. And I wish I had a bed on me so I could sleep away the night. But yeah, that's the base I was talking about. I don't know whose that is. I don't think whoever it is has been playing on the server the past couple months since I've kind of discovered TimeShot. Otherwise, I probably would have seen their video. But yeah, I think I kind of answered the animal question. No, wait, no, I didn't. I was still going on a little bit of a tangent. But yeah, always had a fascination with fish. I really love aquariums. I love going to aquariums and seeing all the fish and just sitting and just watching them swim by. I don't know. For some reason, it just fascinates me. My wife gets bored easily by them. I know we went to the Georgia Aquarium last summer, and they've got a massive tank. I think it's one of the biggest aquarium tanks in the world. It's 6.3 million gallons. And they've got 4 whale sharks, which, if you don't know, are the largest fish in the world. Not a carnivorous, well, technically carnivorous, but not really a deadly kind of shark. They actually eat mostly like krill, and they're obviously really massive, and thus the name whale shark. They're not actually related to whales at all. But yeah, they had 4 of them in there. Those things could get up to like 40 feet long, I think. The ones in there were about 20, but that's still massive. And I just wanted to sit in front of that tank and just watch it all day. I could seriously just sit there and, you know, not do anything else, but just sit and watch the fish go by. But my wife would get bored too easily and want to wander off, so that did not last. But yeah, other than that, also kind of like some creepy crawly kind of animals. I used to have a pet tarantula for a little while. Thus why one of my favorite Pokemon is Galvantula. I don't remember if I mentioned that when I talked about my favorite Pokemon or not. But I really like Galvantula, partially because I had a pet tarantula for a little while. Unfortunately, the apartment we're in currently did not allow anything except for fish, so I couldn't bring my tarantula with me. We ended up donating her. Why did I say him? Donating her to a local high school and their science classroom, where they have a whole bunch of types of lizards and animals like that. And we're already back at spawn. I feel like it's a longer trip out there, but that's okay. We'll finish up these last couple questions here. Probably just wander around spawn or something like that. Or I'll probably go put my stuff away. I probably need to make another chest too. Gonna run out of space here. But yeah, and then I also like lizards too. I've always wanted a pet bearded dragon. I had a gecko at one point, but yeah. So I think that's probably about covers it for animals. Next question, also from Voca Vamps, is trying to stay away from all these mobs. What's your favorite art style? I don't know. That's a question I've not really ever thought about. I'm not really an artsy kind of person in that sense. I'm assuming that means, you know, like visual art. I don't know if it means like classical paintings or like I'm not quite sure. But I can't really give a good answer to that question because I don't really. It's not something I really ever thought about. So yeah, I apologize for having a really vague not answer to that question, but that's the best I could do. So okay, next question from Mara is, what's the story behind your name? Ooh, this one could get a little long, so I gotta find something to do. Gotta find a tree to chop down or something so I can get some wood, because I think I'm just about all out. But first I have to put some of this stuff away and probably sleep the night away. Okay, so story behind my name. Okay. So if you've been paying attention so far, I mentioned I used to be part of a Star Wars Battlefront 2 modding community. When I first joined that community, I went by the name Darth_Maul, which is obviously super unoriginal. So at some point, I decided to change that name to something slightly more original. So I came up with the name Xavius, which at the time I thought was a made-up name that I made up. But as it turns out, it's a name that's actually I think, an actual real name, possibly. So it is in use by other people. So I decided, when I really started my YouTube career, that I wanted to go with a name that was even more original than that. I wanted to use a name that, if you Google search it, you're not going to find anything but me. Because I want to be unique, I want to be original. So I kind of just, threw some stuff at the wall, and eventually decided on Atyrum. At one point, my name was Atyrum Mucros. I think that's how I would have pronounced it. I didn't actually ever say it out loud, which is literally Latin for dark sword, because it was actually part of a story I'd written at one point, and it wasn't a character's name. It was actually the name of a sword that this character used, and eventually I added a couple letters, made it Atyrum Mucros, and eventually just shortened that to Atyrum. So yeah, Atyrum or Atyrum, I'm not even sure how you pronounce that, is Latin for sword. Atyrum is basically a made-up word. So I think that's about it for my name. Basically just wanted something original, and it kind of comes from a story I'd been working on at one point that I'm also not working on anymore. But yeah, so next question. Do you like chocolate? Yes, I do quite like chocolate. I love Reese's and Reese's Pieces. Those are some of my favorite candies. And let's see here. Next question, also from Mara. Thoughts on penguins? Penguins are pretty cool, considering the fact that they live in a very cold climate. Yeah, penguins are cool. Yeah, that about answers that question. Next question, also from Mara, is how about pizza? Pizza's okay, I suppose. My favorite food is cheesy potatoes, if you were curious. Okay, so yeah, is that it? Tort actually asked me a question, I think. Who is your favorite former Farsighter turned time shotter? Okay, so you haven't been paying attention. Farside was the server that Tort and I were on several years ago, so obviously, and that was kind of a running joke I had. Every time Tort ran a Q&A, I would always ask him, I think he didn't do any Q&As until after Farside shut down. So he would do a Q&A when he got to, I think, 500 subs and 1,000 subs and so on and so forth. So I would always ask him, who was your favorite former Farsighter? Obviously trying to get the answer of me, because obviously I am the best former Farsighter. But yeah, it's kind of a running joke, and I guess I would say the only answers to that question are either myself or Tort. So to not be selfish, I'll say Tort. Okay, I'll concede that answer to you. You're welcome. And also, I believe in the Discord chat, Penny asked who my favorite person is and if it's her, and I'm going to say no. Apologies, but I think my wife would get a little upset if I said my favorite person was anyone else other than her. So you can still be my second or third favorite person. So yeah, I think that about wraps up the Q&A there. I think we got all our questions in. But yeah, like I said, if you didn't get your question featured, or if you think of another question, hang on to it. We'll do another Q&A at some point, I'm sure. This has been fun. It was nice to have a topic to talk about. And next episode, we'll have to go back to actually talking about other things. Probably going to be doing some building. Not sure when that next episode's coming out. I'm not sure if I'll have time to record before I end up moving. Not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday. But once I moved in, I'll be able to do things kind of as I please, because I'll have my own desk and my own recording space, which will be a welcome thing to have. So anyways, that will end off this episode. I feel like it's probably gone on a little while. We did do some caving. We did get some diamonds. So that's nice. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.